and welcome to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate, where everyone knows that it is a real estate show that talks about all things real estate in the Turks and Caicos Islands. A show that you're able to put your comments in the comment section and also to be able to put any questions in the comment section as well. Even though we speak about specific topics from time to time, you are always welcome to add a question, and I will always try my best to answer those questions on your behalf. With that said, welcome again to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate. Please like and share the page and let someone know that we are live. So the subject of today is about the role of the real estate agent. The role of the real estate agent. So again, like I said, like and share the page and be a part of the conversation today. Let me know where you're listening from and let me know if you have any questions. I must apologize also for not being here last week, but of course we know that the weather was not permitting and therefore we had to postpone until this week. So we're on with the show. We're not going to be here long. We're going to get through with getting all this information right out to you so that you can hear about what we're talking about, ask your questions, give your comments, and that's what we're going to do. So like I said before, our subject of today is about the role of the real estate agent. So just an overview. First, we're going to talk about, a breakdown of who an agent is, what is the real estate agent's role and responsibility in representing the seller as well as the buyer. And at the end, what we're going to do is just talk about one or two myths that often comes up from time to time, just so we can clarify those so that you can be on the right track to know if those myths are correct or not. So we're going to start by just talking about what an agent is. So basically, an agent is just someone who has the authority to act on behalf of another person. That's it. And a real estate agent is that person who has that authority to act on behalf of that person and also be able to put together the buyer and the seller for a particular transaction. I would like to say this at this time as I remember, just as a disclaimer, of course, I am a member of the Turks and Caicos Real Estate Association. However, this show is not a TCI show, and what I'm saying on the show is my opinion and not the opinion of TCI. So I just wanted to clarify that first of all, just because sometimes I mention Turks and Caicos Real Estate Association and I don't want anyone to think that, okay, I'm speaking on behalf of the association. It's just very difficult not to mention it, seeing that I am a member and some of the ethical rules and regulation I think people need to know about when we're talking about real estate in the Turks and Caicos Islands, because it does make a difference. So just backtracking again and talking about the role of the real estate agent, one of the things I wanted to make sure mention, because you're saying that you have the express authority to act on behalf. Again, it is always good, like myself being a part of the Real Estate Association, where we have forms in place to ensure that we as real estate agents have permission to act on behalf of buyers of sellers when they are listing their properties for sale. This is so important because you as the general public, you're able to feel confident and comfortable to know that the properties that are being shown by that particular agent is actually legitimate properties that they have gotten permission to sell, where there's no mistake once you've already started the process and the owner will come back and say, I never gave that person permission to sell. So dealing with a real estate agent, we have forms in place to prove that we have permission to act on behalf of that seller, all right? And the other point about that I just want to take note and say is that if a property is listed for sale, even if that property has 4, 5, 6 owners or even one owner, each individual owner must give permission for that property to be sold. I wanted to bring this up because we've had certain situations like this before where person would have asked, how do you know that you're following the rules and ensuring that everyone who is involved with that property knows that you are selling it? And that's exactly it. The rules and regulations outlines that we must ensure that everyone who is on the land register and is a part of the title must sign. Now, there may be exceptions where it may be in the form of a company, the director may sign, or they may give their attorney express authorization to sign on their behalf. But in most cases, if the property is in individual owners' names, then everyone who's on the land register must give permission to sell that property. So if John and Susan owns the property, if John is not in agreement, definitely the property cannot be sold without both of their permission. Great? Hope that clarifies it. So now into the meat of the matter. The role of the real estate agent, I'm going to break it down based on the selling process, the buying process, and of course, like I said, the myths. So first we're going to talk about the real estate agent's role when it comes to the buying process. So those of you who are looking to purchase properties, this is your segment right here where you can understand how the real estate agent is going to assist you while you buy a property, while you purchase this property. This is how we help you, and this is where we help you in the process. So one of the first things I want to speak about is the initial consultation. As a real estate agent, it is our duty to have that initial consultation with you as a buyer. And what do we do with this in this initial consultation? Well, we use this opportunity to understand buyers' needs and preferences. We need to understand what exactly you are looking for so that we are able to guide you through that process. Also, to be able to discuss your budget considerations and your financial readiness. You may be interested in purchasing something, but especially for first-time buyers, you may not understand how the process moves forward. And to help you to be ready for that purchase, we need to have an initial consultation to be able to put you in the right direction, to know what your budget is, so we could know what you can afford, as well as put you in the way to be able to determine how financial ready you are to move forward that process. And this initial consultation also talks about pre-qualifications with the banks, outlining what the fees that are associated with purchasing the property, put you in also in position with other mortgage company. All of these things are entailed in the initial consultation. By the time you are done with this consultation process with your real estate agent, you will know for sure if you are ready to move forward or not. What's the purpose of putting in an offer if you haven't gone through this step and you don't know what lies ahead of you, right? So that's the initial consultation. The other thing is property search and selection. So after we have consulted with you as a buyer, we're gonna assist you now with the property search and selection. So there are a few ways in which we can assist with this. First of all, being a part of the Real Estate Association, we are able to utilize our MLS system to help you to be able to scan all available properties that are on the real estate market for sale. Not only that, we as agents, sometimes we have pocket listings that we call, where vendors may decide they don't want to list on a multiple system, but we may be aware of these properties that are off market but are still available for sale. So this is how we help you in the search and selection process. Yeah? After we have helped you to identify these properties, then our next step is to help to schedule and conduct property tours. So we are able to show you as many properties as possible and to take you to visit and view these properties. I've had customers who said, especially because we have a lot of vacant land properties in Turks and Caicos Islands, just send me a pin and I'm able to go and find the location and look at the property for myself. But I think that it is very important to have your real estate agent take you to that property so that they are not able just to point out and say the property is here, but also be able to give you approximate areas of where the boundary starts and stops, and to ensure that you are indeed on the correct property to make the informed decision. right? Also being on that property spot, you may have questions that have come up while you're there, and this is your opportunity to ask your real estate agent these questions about the property. I am, for one, as a real estate agent, I've had persons who have contacted me and said, I would like to make an offer. And the first thing I say to them is, have you been to the property? Let's go out and see the property, because it is a part of our responsibility as a real estate agent to ensure that the purchaser knows what they are buying, right? So this applies for all properties across the board: vacant land, condos, homes, townhomes, and the likes, right? And the other thing about property selection and search is being able to assess property value and potential zonings. When you're searching for a property for a customer, you should be able to give them some insight on what is the zoning of the property and any additional information. Zoning is very important, and especially in today's market where persons are looking to not just have an a residential home for dwelling, but more so an income property. You want to be able to know what type of dwelling or how many units or what's the density of the area which you are purchasing. Just scanning on the multiple listing system would not give you that information, and this is where the real estate agent comes in, and we are able to advise on this process. So that's in a nutshell about the property search and selection that we as agents have as a part of our role and responsibility. So if you are working with a real estate agent and you are looking to purchase a property, ensure that that agent is taking you to that property to make sure what you are buying, and so that you can ask the right questions. Great. Another thing is, so after we have already consulted with you and we have already taken you through the property selection process, now you may be in a position to make an offer. This is a part of our role. And making an offer, here is what we as agents do to help you through this process. The first thing is we are able to advise on an offer price. Yes, you may look at a property and you feel as if you have an idea of what it is that you want to offer. But to help you make a better and informed decision as a real estate agent, I can provide you with comps to say what have other properties, similar properties in the area sold at, and this can help you make a better judgment on what you are able to make an offer forward with. Now, that's not the only factor that's gonna help you win the bid at the end of the day, but it's a very relevant piece of information that you can use to make sure that you are getting a fair price based on the property that you are selecting, right? In the offer process, once you decide to move forward, we as an agent will help you with submitting that offer. So basically, we would have the required forms that you need to submit that offer. Right? Now, being a part, again, of the Real Estate Association, we have several forms in place. However, if there is a property that is not going through the MLS, we also can assist you by making an offer on additional forms. But the main idea is we can assist with that, and we have the relevant forms that has already been tested, proven, tried, and has already gone through the hands of many attorneys that is there to protect buyers and sellers alike as they make an offer on a property. And the last thing I would say about the making an offer process that real estate agent role encompass is the negotiation process. So basically, after you have made an offer, there is room where the owner may decide to counter the offer. And as a real estate agent, it's our job to continue to negotiate back and forth until an amicable price is met between both buyer and seller. So that's in a nutshell what's the role of the real estate agent when it comes to making an offer. Now that you have made that offer, it doesn't end there. Navigating the inspection and due diligence process. Navigating the inspection and due diligence process. There are properties, whether condo or land, that will require you to do due diligence. That will require you to do property inspections and assessments, right? And this is where we come in again as real estate agents along this process. So basically, the first thing I'll say is coordinating home inspections and evaluations. For example, if you're going through the bank to borrow property, the bank will ask you to have an appraisal done, right? Now, through this financing process, as a real estate agent, our responsibility is to coordinate to get access for the appraisers to get into the properties and the likes. Yes, we are needed to get access to the properties. Not only that, if you're thinking about structural inspection, we also have to coordinate with the inspectors to get access to the properties. And also, we find that purchasers will prefer if their real estate agent is present while these inspections are being conducted, in the event that there are questions that arises from the inspection, that we would have been hands-on during the entire process, and we will be able to be more knowledgeable about answering a lot of the questions that may come forward from the inspection, right? And just to piggyback on that, once as a part of this process, being able to assist in the interpretation of the inspection and being able to talk about the report in addressing issues, right? So one other thing I want to say about this the due diligence process, especially when it comes to vacant land, etc. Do you know that even sometimes after a property is sold, we as real estate agents go and make sure that all the boundary markers are in place, or even before it is sold, to make sure the boundary markers are in place prior to the closing. This is something we take on as a part of our responsibilities as real estate agents when we're helping you as a buyer during the process. If you see so far, these are a number of responsibilities. If you had chosen not to use a real estate agent, that may have gone unnoticed, and you may not have thought about these small little things. But these are all things that real estate agents do to represent their buyers when they are purchasing a property. And the last thing I want to speak about how real estate agents play an important role, is also in the closing part of this transaction, right? Basically, one, liaising with attorneys and assisting with paperwork and legal documents. When I say that, I mean, first of all, we are here to refer an attorney who is a specialist in this field of real estate, who will make sure be able to assist you in completing this transaction. That's our first responsibility. If you don't have someone in mind, I know you will always look to the real estate attorney to refer someone out to you. And we have partners who we've worked with from time to time who can assist you with this process. Not only that, I am so happy that we have attorneys who work hand in hand with us as real estate agents to make sure the process goes smoothly. I think we make a great team. Wherever one person can move even more quicker than the other person, we do a good job as to try to get things done. So for example, we may need additional land registers. We may need to help with the survey, acquiring of the survey. We work as a team to get it all done. So even though it's in the hands of the attorneys, it doesn't mean that we sit back as real estate agents. We are there hand in hand and every step of the way to be an assistant to the to the attorney where necessary and where needed to do so. Also, we help to coordinate with mortgage lenders. Example, discharges of charge. It may be your first time taking a charge off of a property and you may not be sure what to do. We can step in and help you to maneuver your way through the process and help you to know exactly what you need to do to the banks, or how to address the banks about getting these discharge of charge documents. Also, when it comes to the closing date, as attorneys, we assist in doing the final walkthrough. So basically, as a buyer, you would have seen a property in the initial stages. Now you have endured a month and a half. Now you're finally at the closing stage. You want to make sure, and especially for you who may not be on island, because it's not necessary that you have to be on island for the closing date, this is where your real estate agent steps in again. We will go through the inspection process to assist you by sometimes rechecking with the inventory list to make sure everything was on the inventory list is still within the condo unit or the home, or do whatever inspection that is necessary on your behalf. Of course, you can be on a WhatsApp call while we're doing the inspection, but we are your eyes on the ground while you are not here. Okay, so as a real estate agent and dealing with buyers, you're not responsible for paying us, no, but it is a very good idea to get a real estate agent involved, because these are our roles, our responsibilities, and it only helps you during the process that it will be much more smoother and help you to get to the end result in a more effective way. For anyone who have just tuned in, of course, we are live, Let's Talk TCI Real Estate, and today's discussion is about the role of the real estate attorney. And we're doing the role of the real estate attorney. I'm just checking my phone just to make sure that I didn't have anyone who might have had a question or anything like that. So the role of the real estate attorney in the buying process, the role of the real estate attorney in the selling process. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about what's our role as real estate agents for someone who is selling their property. So in the selling process, okay? We just help the buyers out. So now we're going to go over to the sellers. Great. First thing, preparing the property for sale. You walk up to a real estate agent and you say to them, I would like to hire your service. One of the first things we're going to do as real estate agents, we're going to look at your property and we're going to help prepare you to make your property sellable. So preparing the property for the sale. And just so you know, this is not just about homes. Again, I like to say this is all straight across the board: home, condo, land, etc. So basically, number one, we can advise about repairs that need to be made, a renovation, and in some cases, some people do a little bit more staging for you. Not all agents do, but depending on the availability of staging materials, right? Most properties come fully furnished, and perhaps we may not have to bring in furniture to stage it, but it may just take a little bit of maneuvering the existing furniture that is in the room to make the property looks more sellable than it is currently. Also, we may say to you not to do any repairs. Sometimes you're selling a home and we may advise you leave everything as is, because the person who is coming in may want to make changes anyway, sell the property as is. But we're here to guide you to help make the property sellable in the best way possible. Great. The other thing is we're going to help you by conducting that CMA. So just as a buyer needs a CMA, a seller needs a CMA, a comparative market analysis. All of this is in preparation for the sale, to be able to give you comparable prices that you can know what to sell your property is. You want to not be overpriced, and you don't want to be underpriced. You want to just be priced just right, because sometimes when you're overpriced, it takes longer time to sell your property, and then your window of opportunity for persons interested in that property may be a bit more slim. If you're underpriced, people may think that there's something wrong with the property as well. So you want to be priced just right. And this is where we come in to be able to help you with that comparative market analysis. Of course, at the end of the day, you have the final decision on what you would like for your property to be priced at, but we are here to give you those guidelines. And then in preparation, we are able to discuss some of our marketing strategies with you, that what we will put in place to help you while promoting the property ahead. So that's what I have to say about preparing the property for sale. Our second responsibility is actually marketing the property. This is the big ticket item here, marketing the property. Of course, if you're going to sell, you want to make sure you have a marketing strategy, and you want your agents to be able to market the property for sale. In the Turks and Caicos Islands, the marketing in most cases is the responsibility of the brokerage that you have hired as your agents to work on your behalf. So you have to be able to market the property. Some of the things that agents, and this is not an exhaustive list of ways in which your property can be marketed, just a few selected ways in which is common among real estate agents in order to market your property. First thing, of course, if you are a part of an MLS system, that's the first thing you want to do is ensure that your property is on the marketing, the multiple listing system, because it gives access to a lot more people to be able to view your property. Second thing you do in marketing property, especially for vacant land lots right now, aerial drone photography is a big thing now in the real estate world in regards to marketing your property. For homes, it's a good way to showcase the outside and the boundaries of your property. So doing drone shots, virtual tours, this is like a must when it comes to marketing properties for those who are selling. All right, and then the other thing is open houses are very important to make sure that you get a lot of agents as well as the general public to come through your property and be able to view it and in order to get the property sold. Now again, that's probably just 3 things I talk about, but there are so many other ways in which your property can be marketed, and each individual company will have their own marketing strategy planned out that they can discuss and share with you. But it is an important step on what us as real estate agents' role and responsibility includes marketing your property to get it sold. After we have marketed your property, and of course there are buyers who are coming in, then our role now turns into handling offers and negotiation. So we're going to review all offers that would have come in and present those offers to the owner. Remember, we're just acting as an agent. We cannot make the decision on behalf of the person who's selling the property, but we can handle the offers, we can present it to them, we can advise them on how to deal with the offers that are coming in. And you know what? It is so good to have someone assisting you, especially in cases where there may be a multiple offer situation where offers are coming in for more than one agent or more than one purchaser at the same time. And our role as a real estate agent comes in very handy at that time to be able to let you know how best to deal with that, to make the best decision to get the best price for the agent. And of course, this all entails negotiating the prices and being able to get the best deal. Yeah. And the last thing about our role when it comes to the selling process, I would say we've already helped you to prepare and stage your property. We've already marketed the property for you. We have already been involved with dealing with the offers and the multiple offer situation. Now we're going to help you with managing the final sales process. And in that, again, it took, as a seller, it could be also helping with inspections as well, appraisals, buyer contingencies. These are all things that will still come up from the seller's perspective as well. And most of all, keeping the seller informed every step of the way. When there are so many things happening within the transaction, yes, the seller has its attorney. We will assist in that way. Obviously, we will assist in that way, referring an attorney as well on that side, because both buyers and sellers need their own attorney. But also, we are there to continue to help them every step of the way. I have customers who they're working with great attorneys, but at the same time, it's just a comfort level, and sometimes they feel like, I had one person say, is the attorney going to charge me more for asking all of these questions? They're not going to charge you any more for asking all of those questions, but it's just a comfort level. And so we are there to help to answer some of those questions that you don't need, that you may not feel comfortable, pushing to the attorneys. And it's sometimes because it's their first time at it. They may have so many questions. They feel like they don't want to bombard their attorneys, but we are there to assist with those questions and also to help direct them to the attorney so that the attorney can in turn, have a really good conversation and relationship with them. So basically, we're just helping to facilitate a smooth communication back and forth between the sellers, the attorneys, the purchasers, and the like. So as a real estate agent, we are involved in the complete process. when someone is selling a property or buying a property. We don't start with you and then drop you halfway when you get in the hands of an attorney. We make sure that we help you to the very end, right? There are even some persons who choose not to use an attorney. Guess what? We are still there to assist you and to advise you until the process is completed. So that wraps up and summarizes the role of the real estate agent's responsibilities when it comes to listing or selling a property. So this information is beneficial to both buyers and sellers alike. Before I go, like I said, it's not gonna be that long. I just wanted to clear up one or two myths that persons may have had from time to time, in regards to real estate. First thing is it cheaper to buy a home without a real estate agent? A lot of times people feel like they don't want a real estate agent because they want to cut costs, right? Just so you know, in most cases, the sellers are the ones who pays the real estate commission. So if you are someone who is buying a property, don't allow that to get in your way thinking that you're cutting costs. Actually, it will be more beneficial to you to use a real estate agent because there's no cost to you as a buyer to use a real estate agent because you're not paying the commission fees, right? So I don't think that it's saving you any money as a buyer to say you're gonna go straight to that person just by cutting out the real estate agent, right? The other myth is you don't need an agent to buy or sell a home. Well, while I think it is possible not to use a real estate agent to buy or sell a home, having one provides significant advantages, including the market knowledge, negotiation skills, and assistance with complex paperwork and legal aspects of real estate transactions. So agents can help to avoid costly mistakes. So, like I said, you don't need an agent to buy or sell a home, but it can help you to avoid costly mistakes. And then the last thing I want to say, real estate agents have an easy job. A lot of people feel like real estate agent's job is very easy. Of course, I love my job, so that makes it easier for me. And I think anytime you love doing something, I think that makes it really easy. However, but real estate, I feel like real estate job, like any other job, can be a demanding career, requiring long hours, extensive knowledge of legal and marketing trends, strong personal skills. If you don't have people skills, then you probably don't want to be a real estate agent. And you should be able to handle high stress levels, because sometimes you have so many things going on at the same time, so you have to remember so many things. You have to be able to manage your stress level. So I think success in real estate often requires significant dedication and hard work like any other job. So I think that's a myth to say that a real estate job is easy. It's not easy, and you haven't heard half of the things that we as real estate agents go through. And that's why it is good to understand the role that we play for the buying process and the selling process, so you could see how dedicated and we are to the process, and it takes a lot of diligence in what we are doing, right? So in summary, I'll say that the real estate agent provides value through their expertise and market knowledge. They have access to resourceful and professional networks, yeah, so we have access to attorneys, surveyors, appraisers, loan officers. This is what we do. We have negotiation skills, and we help to save time and reduce stress for buyers and sellers alike. So if you have ever doubted what we as real estate agents do, this is just a summary, basically, of our role, of our responsibilities, and every way possible in the purchase and sales process. I can go on, but I think you get the idea about what our role and our responsibilities will include. So, of course, I just looked a few times here. If you have no questions or no comments, I will say to you, like always, you know what, it's a pleasure to be in your home on a Thursday. And even though the information is, it's not like a 1 hour, 2 hour show, it's just about getting it out there so that you are able to stay informed and know what it takes. And for those of you who are aspiring to be real estate agents, because I know a lot of people have been coming into the real estate field recently, this is a very good show for you to rewatch, just so you get an idea of what it takes to be a real estate agent, and so you can be proficient and efficient on your job as you continue to make new partnerships and friendships, and you're going to help others achieve their real estate goal. So until next time, I will say to you, stay safe, remain blessed, and enjoy the remainder of your Thursday evening. It's a pleasure once again.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this show belong solely to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate and not that of Keller Williams TCI or any of its affiliates. Any action you take upon the information provided on this show is strictly at your own risk, and Let's Talk TCI Real Estate guest or host will not be liable for any losses and damages in connection with the use of the material. I am not an investment advisor, broker, or dealer.